I'm Lee Snyder of Doc's Total Package. More information about how to do a vinyl repair, but we're going to demonstrate the use of Ultra Mesh. The reason why this is important because traditionally a repair is done with an under patch underneath. But sometimes it requires a top patch, and that's what we're going to demonstrate here. And we're going to use the product called the original Bulldog. Will be one of the products that we'll use. We're also going to use the Best Friend because it's a thick compound. And then we're going to probably use one of the rainbow colors, which is colored repair compound. Now, of course, it's not always necessary that you follow this procedure to do repair, but it does give you options. And that's what we're going to demonstrate here. So as you let your eyes fall to the damaged area there, you'll see that the hole is there. And what we've done is we've cut a mesh already. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim it, because eventually we're going to put it right over like so. Important always to clean the product, the substrate first with silicone wash, which is what we'll do here. Now it's good and dry. And then what we'll do is we'll position our patch. Now you see right there it's a little bit too much, so what we're going to do is we're going to trim this a bit, like so. And what we're going to use is we're going to use the original Bulldog, because initially it's a very thick and thin compound. Now what I do a lot of times is I'll sit here and do it right over on the other side here. And take it like so, place it over the repaired area. And as you look real careful, you can see the outline of where the patch is and where it's not. This excess compound we want to scrape off and clean off, because obviously that just makes a mess. And we're going to keep the repaired in a small and limited area. Now, a lot of times people use heat guns with reducer tips, and that's fine, but we like using the small mouth. And the beauty of this is the butane heat gun that you can adjust the setting right here. I like it because a lot of times when I'm done, I can take it and I can stick it in my pocket like that. And I don't have to worry about, well, where's my heat gun, or something tipping over and burning. But there I grab it like so, I fire it up, and if time to turn it off, even if I just forgot to turn it off, I'd push this on like this and it would turn it off. So there's no way I could burn it on. So there's your light, there's your compound, and now let's go to the repaired area. Preheating it first, I do a roundabout cure. As you see it, the material is shiny at first, it starts getting dull, and then it gets shiny. Whenever you're working with butane, it's a little different with electric because it'll burn quick and intense. So sometimes you have to respect that and back off a little bit. When you see smoke, that's not always a bad sign. In fact, a lot of times that shows you that you've got a good cure. And of course, whenever you're pressing, it's usually good to use a chill bar so you can have an equalized pressure there. And I don't have it with me right now, but if not, you have to use your hand and keep your press even so that you don't create a dimple or a dent. This particular grain is the one we had made from a previous video. And a lot of times that's all you have to use. You can just go back and make another application, in fact, of the original Bulldog. In fact, I really kind of think that's what I would probably do under normal circumstances. But since we want to demonstrate the versatility of other products, we're going to do that like so. Here's the Best Friend. You saw that with the little dog there. Because everybody knows that the dog is man's best friend. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. You see how thick the compound is? It's like a thick type of, I was going to say, not a gel. It's like almost like a cream. But you can place it over the repair area, and you want to spread it nice and smooth, tapering off the area so it will grain easy and nice and complete. Then you simply just heat the area as I did before. There's really no rules to it. Sometimes I like to do in the center. Sometimes I'll do the corners. But I usually try to stay in the center initially, and then because when you go out here, it'll cure quicker because it's not having to penetrate the mesh. And of course, as always, you have to be very careful that you don't get it too hot because it can bubble. That, of course, is very crucial whenever using a color compound, which is what we're going to demonstrate on the next stage. Now, a person might say, why do I need to use a colored compound? In fact, if you feel that, you can feel that it's totally gone. You can't even, I can feel a little ridge right there, but you certainly can't tell. And a lot of times what I can do is I can preheat it like so. Just press it in. There, it's perfect. But this is where a lot of times you can take the colored compound. Now, this particular colored compound is not an exact match, but it's very close. It looks pretty close from that angle. But it's not an exact match, and that's sometimes important to have an exact match if you're doing restaurants or an area where it's limited to what you're going to spray. See, there's a little black there. So I'm going to mix that up. And it almost looks like I need more brown. Looks like that black was a lot stronger than I thought it was. Almost like velour apparent. If you've done velour apparent, you know what I'm talking about. So that's, of course, is a lot more than I would normally use. In fact, I probably would mix it with something else. This is many times it's important to have a colored compound for a number of reasons. Number one, when you're using colored compound, there's never a danger of the color rubbing off because it's in the compound. Number two, it also helps it so you're able to see visually what you have. Now, a lot of times what we do is we do a combination. We'll use the colored compound, and then we'll still put a little dye on it just to kind of blend it in. But this does illustrate the importance of making sure that you don't get it too hot because it can bubble. And it can also blister. That's why you have to be real careful. Once you put any kind of colored compound on, you have to be real careful. And if you take like a little dye on it here, that gives you a good visualization of what you have. And sometimes, to even help that, you can even reheat it after you've colored it. And by doing that, you're able to press a grain into it, lock in the compound, and then you have more of a natural looking repair. So there is your repair area. You're good to go working at this angle. So keep that in mind when doing vinyl repair, how strong the mini mesh can be. So remember, it's www.docstotalpackage.com and .net. Give us a call and give us a try. We think you won't be disappointed. Here's the address. That's BR5. No, just kidding. Try not to be looking like Junior, though. Okay.